Welcome to Let's Talk Motivation is the wonderful Erin Hoy with her digital legacy. Thank you so much for being here, Erin.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
I have so many questions and I'm going to go to my list. I asked chat, I said, I want you to check out Erin's website or social media. I said, I want some good questions. And then I went through and said, but not everything just on her website. I was like, because we need some really good, deep delving questions on what is a brand strategist, because we need to make sure that everyone knows about you. And because what I've seen, you're good at what you do. You're good at what you do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yes. And there's so many women out there that want to build a business and they don't really know where to begin. So I think we have a lot to touch on, and hopefully we have enough time in about 30 minutes. So we'll start with my first question is, you began with 5 to 9 socials. You focused on Instagram management. What inspired you to transition to founding Her Digital Legacy, and how has your vision evolved?
Yeah. Oh, such a great question. So I had 5 to 9 socials for about a year and really focused on Instagram management for mainly female entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. And I really realized that, just Instagram management, it just was not doing it justice for these women. And what I was noticing as well is that with social media management and Instagram management, I noticed that a lot of female founders were kind of hiding behind their logo, whereas I really wanted to help them step out from behind their logo and show them as the thought leader that they are. And so I decided to transfer over to and rebrand to Her Digital Legacy and really focus on that personal brand strategy portion. And so it's not just social media management. I am positioning you as the industry expert so that you can get the book deals, the keynote speaking opportunities, the podcast interviews. And so it is a really cool mixture that I've created of social media management that is very much rooted in personal brand strategy, along with digital PR. So that is me pitching you for podcasts, awards, keynote speaking opportunities. And so that kind of mix has just been a wonderful thing to see. And I'm just loving seeing my clients grow because we're really helping their brand, their personal brand, shine online.
And that's what I'm seeing more of since I've now been a part of the common circles that we have in the groups that we're in. That is a message that is really going through all these women that are working on building these brands and building their business, is the authenticity of who they are, right? Who am I working with? And I didn't know that until I started getting around my women's group circles, like Babe Support Babes. And when they said, I think it was your class I took that said, don't put the business name, because it's like Net Worth Insurance is like, who is that, right? It's like Serena Miranda, net worth. But first it's me. So I remember getting that advice, and it was your class, and we did the audit, my Instagram audit.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And you gave me those pointers, and I noticed my reach increased for sure, because now people knew. It's like, oh, okay, Serena is the insurance broker, not net worth, right? And so that just really did give me a different outlook on it, for sure.
I love that. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what common challenges do you have for these high achieving founders, these women that face establishing a personal brand? And how does your approach address these obstacles?
Yeah, well, I would say obstacle number one is that they just don't have a digital presence. So they've spent so many years building their company's brand and hiring the employees and making sure that the company's logo is what shines. But then again, when you look this woman up on Google, nothing shows up that isn't connected to that company brand. And what I want to help these women with is to be able to establish that personal brand. And I think some women, have asked me, well, I don't want to be egotistical. I don't want to just be talking about myself. And that's really not it at all. It's positioning you as the thought leader. And that not only helps you bring in opportunities, but that's going to help your business or businesses as well. Because when you position yourself as the thought leader, people want to work with you. We just don't buy from big companies, logos, things like that anymore. We're buying from people because that is just kind of in our human nature to want to have a conversation with someone, know someone from social media and see their face. And so an obstacle oftentimes is, these women are coming and going, I've built the clinical practice, or I've built this real estate business, but I have not built my own personal brand because I've been so focused on my company. And now I want to build this personal brand that's going to help my company grow, but also allow me to write a book and get sales from it and get podcast interviews and things like that. And they're stuck because they know that they're not going to be able to get those opportunities and grow their business as well without them showing up as the thought leader. And so that's really where we start. And we get posting and submitting them for awards very strategically so that they can be the industry expert that they've always been, but now we're putting that online too.
That is wonderful. And I was on your website and I had read something about, or maybe it was LinkedIn, about vanity metrics and moving beyond that. What is that exactly?
Oh, yeah, such a great question. So when I say vanity metrics, what I mean is we're moving past the idea that you need to have tens of thousands of followers or go viral, have a million likes, because really at the end of the day, it's a nice ego boost when that happens, right? And that's something to celebrate, but that isn't going to be necessarily what gets you the sales or position yourself as the expert. It's that consistent social media content that is very, very aligned to your personal brand and your core values.
That is great. I'd never heard of that. And I think thank you for explaining that, right? So what key performance indicators do you focus on to measure the impact of a personal brand?
Yeah, I would say I normally look at engagement on social media. And so what's really nice is my platform that I use, CoSchedule, to do all my social media management. We can see engagement throughout the month, throughout the year. And as long as that graph is going upward, that means we're in the right direction, because there's going to be dips in likes and engagement and views. But what's most important is that we're continuously going up. And so, trying not to freak out about those vanity metrics if one reel only gets a couple of likes, because that is just one very tiny piece of the puzzle of our strategy is, adding a variety of different types of content, reels, carousel posts, newsletters, blogs. All of that is part of the puzzle. It's that one reel that didn't do well, that is not going to break your social media strategy or be that missing piece in the puzzle. It's just part of the overall strategy.
Right. That's really great. And I noticed now, after I took your class, I look at those insights on Instagram, and I really try to see what my viewers are really wanting. And that's how I can tailor my content. And I know one of them a couple had asked me, and then to separate them into like followers and non-followers, which I hadn't been doing before, which is great. That's why I like the trials.
Yeah,
because you get to test a reel. But I did notice that even people that are following me end up finding it, because maybe that's something they had looked into, because how it pushes things out. But I'm trying to be more mindful on the kind of content that I put out specific to my ideal client. And that's real important, right?
Yeah, I love that. Well, I always say to have your ideal client her or their characteristics, what they're looking for, all of that on a, one piece of paper, and put that on your wall so that anytime you're creating content, you are looking at that person and going, what does this person need from me today? Instead of being like, oh, like this audio is trending. Why don't I just do a quick lip sync and I'll post it because I need to get something out there? Rather, you're thinking about it very strategically and really thinking about that ideal client, what they need to see today.
That is so true, because I love doing the trending audios, but now instead of doing the trending audios just off the cuff, I'm like, okay, let's narrow it down to my ideal, small business client or my commercial driver client. So then they're seeing it as well, and they're like, oh, she's talking about me in this trendy song.
Oh yeah, and there's nothing wrong with a good trending dance or audio. I mean, I do that actually quite a bit for one of my clients, but it's so connected to her strategy and her ideal client. Like, that is what her ideal clients want to see. And so as long as you're strategic with it, I love it, but never feel like you need to hop on a trend just because everyone else is doing it.
Exactly. Yes. And okay, so let's move along, because now I want to talk about more of the motivation and mindset and your leadership.
Yeah.
And so what personal experiences or challenges have shaped your approach to entrepreneurship and leadership?
Oh my goodness, where do we even begin? I would say that when I quit my corporate job, I really was thinking that it was going to be this great life experience where I was going to have so much time on my hands. I mean, this is such a canon event for every single business owner that quits their job. They think they're going to have more time, and then they end up getting strapped down. And so, I would say with motivation, I really had to learn how to do things in my business with or without motivation. And so, I felt like in my corporate job, because I didn't have this many responsibilities, right? I wasn't the CEO of a company. Right. If I wasn't feeling motivated one day, I would just be like, this can happen tomorrow. But as business owners, we can't do that. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm feeling motivated, really taking that energy and being excited about creating content and helping my clients. But on the days that I'm not feeling motivated, or even just the couple hours of the day that I'm not feeling motivated, I still have to get the work done, because it's not just my boss that's waiting for, stuff from me, deadlines. It's now, 6 or 7 clients. And so having to be like, we need to put that away and we need to get the work done, whether or not you're feeling motivated that day.
Right. And I remember you sharing that you start pretty early, right? In the morning?
I do. Yeah.
Your schedule shocked me, because I was like, oh.
Yes, I start at 4:30. That's usually when I work out. I try and work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and get up around 4 to 4:30 to get to that class. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll maybe sleep in until 5 or 5:30, but my brain just works the best in the morning. And when I first started going full time with my business, I let myself sleep in, till 9 or whatever, which is not a problem, but I was still feeling that 3 p.m. crash, whether or not I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning or 11, so I had to realize when my brain works the best, and that is in the morning.
That's great. And I've tried mornings. I'm more of a nighttime person. So my brain races in the evenings, and to the point where my husband's like, can you stop sending emails at 11 o'clock at night? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, he's like, can you stop sending emails at 11 o'clock at night? I'm like, well, I'm in the zone.
I'm in the zone. This is my zone time.
I'm like, I've got ideas and I'm thinking, and then I'm sure people are like, really, Serena, you're sending an email out? But if I don't send it at that time, I will forget. So and now it's really great, because my Google will, it'll let me schedule it. So now I write all the emails and I schedule them for 8 a.m.
That's
So
been a lifesaver for me.
yes, so I love that, and I'm sure other email platforms have that capability, but that actually has really helped me so I don't get a response, because some people will respond and be
Oh, yeah.
like, and expect you to respond, and then we were going back and forth at 11
It's 2
o'clock
in
at
the
night.
morning.
Yeah, so I've really enjoyed the scheduling my emails, and that way I can get a lot of work done. I've got all my ideas, my especially with insurance, because sometimes I don't get a response back for different carriers till late in the day,
Yeah,
and then I'm sending them out in the evening when I have time to sit down after dinner.
right.
And but now I can forward them for so they get it first thing in the morning.
That is such a great hack. I mean, and also scheduling emails even for like a month in advance has been really helpful for me. Like I have to remind my doctor about that I'm moving to change my pharmacy, and I was like, I'm just going to schedule this email right now because I will not remember
That's a
in
good
3 weeks.
one. Yeah, that's a great idea. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, yeah. So how do you balance the demands of running a business?
Yeah.
Well, I think we already talked about this with well-being, but can you tell us a little bit about what you do for CEO days?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So Fridays are my CEO days. So that is when I work strictly on my business. It's not always perfect. Sometimes I'm having to take just a half day to finish up client work. So definitely not as perfect as it used to be, but Fridays are really just kind of my sacred days almost that I'm working on my business, because something that I've really realized is that if I'm only ever working on client work and never nourishing
Mm,
my own business, like I'm not exactly fulfilling my core values of helping women show up online. And
that's right.
my content gives me so much joy. I love doing it so much, and I don't want to let that go. That's something that just provides me so much joy. And so having those CEO Fridays allow me to write my newsletters and create content for the next week and have that all sorted out. And that, yeah, it's been such a lifesaver and just allowing me to be super creative without any limitations. You know, it's not like, okay, you only have 2 hours to create
Right.
content. It's like you've got the whole day to just really allow your brain to come up with fun ideas. And that's what's super
Yeah.
important to me. I can't have a lot of limits on my creativity. Otherwise, I'll just end up creating content that's not really going to resonate.
Definitely. And what I took on a CEO day, I do it every other Friday.
Perfect.
And what I noticed is it's like a surprise because I block those days out on my Calendly so I don't get, booked on for anything.
Right.
And then I notice my calendar is empty and I'll sometimes look at my calendar and be like, "Ooh, I have a free day." And it's like, "I have my CEO day." So if I have to get something done like my bookkeeping or the boring stuff, right, that no one wants to work on,
Right.
I try to block that out on at the first Friday of the month. So
Yeah.
that way it's done and over with. And then the second Friday of the second time I have a CEO, which is usually the third Friday of the month, it's like a free day. So I get to, it's usually my go get my hair done,
Ooh.
go do something that's just for me, that's maybe not completely tied to the business, right?
Yeah.
More I am a CEO, so I may need to take a massage day.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that is why we became business owners, to have flexibility. And I think it's a really hard reminder for us because the reason that a lot of us left our 9 to 5 job was to have more flexibility. Yet again, we're finding ourselves working more than ever. And so being able to take that midday facial or getting your nails done, it's still very hard for me because I get in the zone during the day. But sometimes
Yes.
I have to force myself to go and do these things for me, because in retrospect, I'm actually helping my clients because I'm having a fresh brain and allowing myself to
Mhm.
relax.
Definitely. That's probably been one of my best things I've learned since I've started this journey, all starting, I guess, all over again in business, but is these little things that make us better at what we do so we can serve others. So
Yes.
so great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what is dominating everywhere, AI.
Oh,
And AI in digital marketing, AI in the future of branding,
Mm.
and what do you think? What is your opinion on this?
Oh yeah, I mean, I love my ChatGPT. Her name is Elle, short for Elle Woods,
I
and
love her.
oh yes, and she's my virtual assistant. Like I use
Mhm.
ChatGPT every day. So, and I also think it's super important. And I tell the CEOs that I work with, and I also have a personal brand workshop where I go to corporate teams and teach them how
Mm,
to show up online as the personal brand.
right.
And something that's so important is that you're utilizing the tools that are coming out, because you could say, well, this is cheating, or this isn't helping my business or whatnot, but you are therefore not taking advantage of the tools that are out there. Now, of
Right.
course, there's lines in the sand, right? Like, I can immediately see a caption that is written by ChatGPT. It has the double
Exactly.
dashes. It's got the punchy one-liners. Like, in a paragraph, it'll like basically be all one word and then a sentence after that, like successful, intelligent. So you can feel it. And so
Yes.
I'm always telling, more of my coaching side of the business for coaching on personal branding. Like, when you are creating captions or your content calendar, have ChatGPT help you create ideas. Like, you are doing so much every day. You need to utilize this tool, because if you
Mhm.
don't, you're going to be left behind, because everyone is using this and it's only going to get smarter. So you need to be able
Yes.
to use this very constructively and intelligently. Now, the line in the
Yeah.
sand is just creating a random graphic on Canva and asking ChatGPT to write a caption for it. And you can definitely feel, like, when you're reading it, you can feel that this wasn't genuine. And so
Right.
using ChatGPT as like that starting point, and then allowing yourself to be creative, specifically in your content, is what I'm talking about.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there are little nuances like all the asterisks, all the emojis, all those. So I always try to clean it up, and I'm like, I don't like so many emojis, and I've been having to help teach I have some virtual assistants that help
Yeah.
with the marketing and teach them how to clean it up. So because we want it to be more like us, which we're the humans, right? So and
Exactly.
sometimes I named mine Winston, and he's got an English accent. I don't know
Cute.
why I'm obsessed with that, but my husband always says, Serena, if I didn't know better, I'd say you were whispering to somebody because I'm always like, Winston,
What should I post today?
Winston, tell me what I need to do. And then he's
Oh
like,
my
"Who are
gosh,
you?" There she goes, whispering in Winston's ear all day long.
that is so funny.
I'm like, well, I don't want to talk all loud. But
Yeah.
I do always let Winston know. Remember my mission and my vision.
Yep.
Okay. You know Serena and what I expect. So,
Mhm.
and sometimes I'm a little aggressive with him. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
Winston, this is horrible. I'm like, this is not good content. Okay. You
You
need
got
to
to slap
dig
them around
deeper.
sometimes.
And he's like, okay, Serena, his English accent.
Yeah, I reminded my ChatGPT so many times, never, ever, ever to use the sentence structure that is, it's not about X, it's about X. That's ChatGPT loves
I'm going
that
to tell him.
so much,
Yes.
but it still uses it, even though I say, girl,
Girl.
never, ever use this sentence structure, because I think, back in the day when I was writing essays for high school and college, I would say that because I actually really
Yes.
like that sentence. But now ChatGPT is just like married to that, and so I see it everywhere. So now I'm like, okay, we cannot be saying that.
It memorized some college English book probably,
Yeah, it
and
probably did.
it's pulling that in. That's
Gosh.
funny. So, when you work with we've talked about ChatGPT, is there any other AI that you're really working with or helping your clients utilize?
I would say the only other thing potentially would be Descript, and I don't necessarily think it's Well, I guess it is AI. So Descript is a podcast creating tool as well as a reel editing tool. So
Yeah.
like, let's say, for example, I were to download this conversation of
Mhm.
us and I'd put it in Descript. It would create the reels for me and create the
Oh,
captions on it. Oftentimes
okay.
I'm having to go in and still edit it, or being like, this part of the conversation was not relevant at all. Like, why did you choose this portion? But that has been super helpful for my clients that have podcasts. And so, they're talking for the podcast or with their clients for an hour to an hour and a half,
Right.
and I can't necessarily listen to the entire thing.
No.
So I'll put it into Descript and have it create clips for me for reels. And so that is
Nice.
a great way, because um, I used to just put it in CapCut and find the
Yeah.
second clips that sounded good to me, but that would take forever. And so I
Mhm.
definitely think Descript has been a lifesaver for me.
Yeah, and I think as business owners, we need to think automation,
Yeah,
right? How
yeah,
can we multiply our efforts? And StreamYard does that for me with this conversation.
yeah,
It'll it'll take the important key questions and your clips of your answers and create those reels and stories for me, which really does help because then I can turn around and post quicker about the podcast.
mhm, absolutely. And that's super important too. That when you're doing a podcast, or you're speaking at an event, or you're going to an event, those are kind of those time sensitive posts that you need to be sharing pretty quickly after the event happens. And so being able to have those automations that can do that for you is really important.
That's great. Yes, and it is moving so fast, so quickly.
Mhm.
Um, but just picking one and really one that helps you
Yeah.
get your stuff done quicker is really the best part. But I've had the same the good feedback from a lot of business owners that they're really a couple of them started out with never. I will never use
Yeah.
AI. I will be human till the end. And like, I'm like, that's great and all, but you're going to be left behind.
You are.
So,
Yeah, you
you
really
know,
are.
we've got to see it. And I'm in an industry that's already very archaic, insurance and quoting and the systems, and I'm
Yeah.
like, speed it up. I'm
Yeah.
like, can you get this? When I have to have an underwriter,
Mhm.
okay, it has to go to underwriter review. I'm like, Lord have mercy. So
And then
I'm like
another week.
calling them and emailing them. I'm like, can we get this done quicker?
Hmm.
I know they are in the insurance business, they are using AI on the claim side to
Oh, that's
help
good.
because it is a quicker automation to help people
Sure.
process the claim quicker. So I,
Awesome. I'm glad
I
they're getting
see
there somehow.
they're trying, it is a little old school, but they are working towards that.
Yeah.
And again, the carriers that don't keep up are not going to get used as much because as an agent, I'm going to use the carrier that's faster, that gets my client what they need quicker.
Yeah. Well, I always give the example too that, you know, kind of a history lesson here is when we were in the pre-industrial age, everyone was making things by hand. You were the blacksmith or the seamstress. And
Yep.
then those individuals, come the industrial revolution, they were very much like, no, I still want to farm by hand, or I still want to uh,
Mhm.
sew things individually, which
Seam.
is
Yeah.
a fabulous trait. But unfortunately, they weren't getting any money because factories
Mhm.
were booming at the time. Consumerism was increasing quite a bit, and unfortunately, those businesses had to close down, and those business owners ended up having to work for someone else. And so, this is a great
Yep.
example that you need to be able to evolve with the times, and that is doing things that really scare you. That might be showing up
Exactly.
on a podcast or showing your face on social media. But
Mhm.
we didn't become business owners to like be safe and cushy in our
Yeah,
lives. We became business owners because we're very fearless women. And so you have to
exactly.
be able to do these things and challenge yourself.
That is so true. And I mean, you can go back and go from radio to TV, from the candle to the light bulb. I'm like, it change is coming.
Yeah.
So We
Always.
just got to embrace it. So let's lose some rapid fire insights on Erin Hoy. Let's see what we can get from you. Can you share a daily habit that contributes to your productivity and creativity?
Recently, I have been getting into skincare. So a little bit more lotions and like
Oh,
face scrubs. I've got the like cold roller that you put on your face. I don't
I
think
love it.
I don't know if it's doing anything for my face or if it's making my skin look better, but it is that nice transition period before I start my day and then before I end it as well. So I've been really getting into face masks and things like that. And that's just a good way for me to
Wonderful.
get prepared or for the day or, get prepared
Well,
for the next day.
if you would like some advice from a 50-plus-year-old woman, yes, the sooner you start with
Mhm.
your lotions and your potions, as my husband calls them, your skin will love you much more for it. So
Yeah.
I grew up as a teenager, I was in the 90s, and we
Mhm.
didn't use sunscreen.
Oh,
And
God.
it was not, I remember, and I think I had Duncan totally cringed when I told her this. I said, we used to put baby oil on us
Oh,
and
just
lay out.
water.
And I think at one time I even didn't have baby oil, and I found my mom's Crisco.
You found your mom's what?
Crisco oil. It's like a cooking oil.
Oh my gosh. Serena. Oh no.
Yeah. So take care of your skin.
Yes.
And now they have so many products that's how I started on social media, like really
Ooh.
getting involved was on TikTok. And I actually won a brand trip with Tarte Cosmetics. And
No.
I got to
Serena.
go with my daughter. We went to stay at the Plaza in New York City.
Oh
You
my
got to watch
gosh,
my
Laura,
TikTok.
I had no idea about you. Okay, after we're done recording this, I need all the details. Send me the pictures. I want everything. That is
Yeah,
amazing.
you have to check out my TikTok. It is a passion of mine. I love skincare. I love taking care of my skin. I love knowing that there's good products out there, and I love being an advocate for products that are clean.
Yes.
And a lot of our products in the United States are not clean products.
Well, I'm
So
going to be sending you what I'm putting on my face, and we'll
yes, let me know, because I've even majority of the products that are clean are from Europe and are from France.
Mhm.
So one of the places I like to go to is French Pharmacy. So we'll definitely have to get together and talk facial stuff.
Yay, let's do it. That's so exciting.
I want to share something with you real quick. I'm
Mhm.
going to pull in a video of an AI that I just learned about.
Ooh.
Here it is right here. You see it? Here you go. Look at
Yeah.
this.
Oh, yes, I have been seeing that. Crazy, right?
Isn't that freaking awesome?
I've been seeing the mermaid ones where people are turning into mermaids.
Or this is the flower one. It did just change my face when I turn around. I'm like, that's not me.
I was gonna say that looks like you, and then poof.
But isn't that crazy how it's doing
Yeah.
videos? It's creating these videos, and I'm like, I can't. There's so much.
There is a lot to keep track of for sure.
Yes, and fun stuff, and then stuff that we're not really, I mean, I don't know where I'd use that, but it's my fun AI video. I'm probably
Yeah,
going to
you
post
gotta
it.
have fun with it.
Yes, yes, yes. So lastly, what is the next big goal for her digital legacy in the coming year?
Yeah, I would say just to, be more grounded because I rebranded in the spring, and then I hired my first W-2 employee
Ooh,
just about a month ago, and then we found out we were moving, and then because I'm
yes.
moving to Austin in June or later this month, and then we're going to Europe in July. And so, the next goal for me is to continue to create an in-house team and really allow me to be the head of strategy and create a really strong team of employees that are, experts at video editing, analytics, content creation, and just really growing her digital legacy so that I can support even more women.
That's awesome. I'm so excited. I look forward to your growth because great things are coming for all the women that you work with.
Oh,
Definitely.
thank you so much, Serena.
Thank you so much for being our guest
Yes.
or my guest. There's not more than one of me. So,
I think you called me the host at the beginning of
oh,
two.
I did. Oh, Lord.
It's okay.
Okay. That's okay. You're like a co-host. You're like,
Yeah, we're co-hosts.
thank you again for being with me. And I look forward to seeing how you dominate Austin. I told you
Oh,
I'm going to come visit you. I'm going
yes,
to go to a luncheon.
please do. I would love to see you there.
I had just recently told one of the Nabo ladies, I said, we need to come up with a travel Nabo event. I'm like, I'd love to go to Richmond and go see or North Carolina and go see a Nabo event and
Oh, that'd be so fun.
find a little, right? Wouldn't it be fun in the summer?
Thankfully, Austin's not too far away.
Yes, I'm going to start there. I'm going to start going to check you out over there in Austin.
Oh, well, I can't wait to see you there.
All right. Have a great day. Have a great week, and we'll see you around.
Thanks, Serena.